Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This being a show we're talking about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about Chainsaw Man Season 1, Episode 4. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. So the opening kind of gives us a little insight. We don't know the full scale of everything, but we saw the moment that, even though it's like, right, all that Power cared about was like blood, because it's like, oh, she loves the taste of it, the smell of it. It just was such a thrilling feeling, and it's just like she never really cared about anything. It's like, but here I am caring about some cat so much that she's so desperate after Bat was like, bring me a human, and she was so desperate running to the nearest city. I guess the only assumption to be made is that she ran into public safety, because I'm like, why wouldn't any other devil hunters kill her? So, or maybe she ran into other devil hunters and beat them back. I don't know, but it's like we always saw was her rush into the city and just like falling and tripping, and but obviously we cut to like her awakening, and Meowie's still alive and Dingy's nearby, and it's like, wow, why'd you go through so much trouble to save me? He makes it perfectly clear. You promised I could touch your chest. She's like, all right, fine, you can do it. He's like, what? It's like, yeah, I promised a reward, and here it is. He's like, yeah. But before he could even celebrate, his hand gets blown off. I thought someone shot him. I was like, is it another hunter thinking he's dangerous or something? Even though it's like, I don't know. I didn't know what it was. Wasn't expecting it to be another devil. In fact, it turns out the Bat Devil had a main squeeze, that being the Leech Devil, and she came here for some revenge. And it's like, all right, because I think you're kind of cute, and obviously you're not really human, especially when he tries to like activate the chainsaw. But it's like, well, he's going to partly transform, and that's like a little bit of the chainsaw comes out of his head, because it's like, well, he's used up too much blood and too much energy, so. But it's like, yeah, she's like, I'll let you go, but Power and Meowie have to die. So he was like, nah, fuck that. So he dukes it out with her. And it's like, I think it's so interesting that, I mean, his body is trained. I wonder, like, I guess even in a normal standard, because he's able to take quite a lot of damage, but I guess it's like, even though he hasn't like fully transformed, he's still partially enough transformed. So I guess he naturally he's gained like, if I had to like put it on a video game skill, I guess some of his stats increased in that moment. I don't know. Maybe his stats aren't as like, maybe they're actually base level. Maybe it's like, even without fully transforming, like he doesn't have the benefit of the chainsaws, but maybe he doesn't change that much. Like he's always in a state of his circumstances, he just doesn't have the chainsaw. I feel like that's not the case. I feel like when he's kind of fully powered up, like that is a difference in scale and power. So I do feel like maybe by activating some of that power that he had in reserve, he's able to increase like his endurance, because he was getting smacked around. I mean, hell, he got knocked out by the hammer. Granted, it was a blood hammer by Power, but still. And that was him just as a regular human, so, but he was getting tossed around. So I think that adds validity to, right, he was powered up a little bit, so it increases endurance. I mean, getting flung into buildings, slammed around, but it still kept getting up. And still managing to like do some damage. Hey, it's like, gotta make the most of like the little bit of the chainsaw that's sticking out my head, so slicing at the leech's throat and stuff like that. Because now it's like, wait, why are you going so above and beyond? And he's like, because I want to touch boobs. Because the leech is like, oh, me and Bat, we had this deal, this plan to eat and enjoy eating every human in humanity. And it's like, yes, it seems like such a lofty goal and seems so like out there, but it's like, no, it was still kind of nice. And you kind of you kind of threw a wrench in that. But, and then he talks about his goal, and then she kind of puts him down, being like, oh, that's kind of stupid that you're really doing all this for that. And for him, it's like everyone, whether it's Aki, whether it's Power, whether it's this leech monster, it's like everyone's putting down my dreams. It's like, sure, I don't want revenge. I'm not out for revenge. I'm not to protect life or protect an animal. Like, I'm in here for something as selfish and low on the totem pole. I just want to touch some boobs. But I don't give a... He's like, I don't care. My dream is still my dream, and I'm putting everything into it. He's like, so how about it? How about we have a battle of dreams and stuff and see who comes out the top? Because if I win, that means my dream of touching boobs is stronger than yours. And I love that he's a little psychotic through the fight, because even the Leech Devil started getting into it, and they're both like laughing maniacally. I mean, hell, like one of his, like, kind of pulled a little bit of a Glenn from The Walking Dead, spoilers, with the eye bulging out thing. I was like, oh, like, it looked like his like right eye was about ready to pop out of its socket, just because like it was so like bulging and like kind of turned to the side, because even though like he's still human enough that damage is like it is sticking and he's taking quite of a beating, but still charging forward, and it just once again dodgy tentacle slicing and just doing his thing. Got very close to the leech because he struck it like in its neck like twice. But I was like, oh, did he go for the final blow? But no, the leech got him and was ready to eat him. But before it could, Aki shows up and we finally see his circumstances, or at least some version of it. And it seems that he made a deal with the fox devil, and it consumes the leech, specifically its head, which she's like, oh, do you want me to swallow? I was like, that's probably going to be a bad idea, but it's only its head, because its body remained intact. But I was like to say, like, oh, that would suck considering it ate Denji's arm earlier in the episode. But it's like, no, it's all good. The body was still around, so they would have just get his arm, easily reattach it. All you needed was like a blood transfusion to make that happen. Makes sense. Once again, he's kind of a devil, so like devils get stronger off of human blood. I think it's interesting that Power was like, oh, I can't move. I'm wondering, is it like just being inside that thing? Like, did it start draining some of the, like, why was she so powerless? Because all she did was get swallowed last episode. So I'm wondering, is it just a thing of being inside that devil kind of took away her strength or whatever? Like, that she didn't have anything left? I mean, maybe it's a thing of she kind of burned through, like, because it's the same day of, that was the same day of her, like, killing that devil at the end of episode 2, plus knocking out, what's his face? So maybe, like, she started, I mean, she might be on the lower end of Power anyway, just because, like I said, she probably put too much in to try and kill that one devil, and she hasn't had an opportunity to really replenish her stamina, so maybe that's why she was in such a weakened state. That's my thought process about that. But yeah, as we learn from Aki really quickly, that devil hunters do make pacts with devils. Like, he made one with the fox devil, and it's like the price is like his blood or something like that. I think he said like this time like the price was flesh. But it's like, right, you'll use whatever means, even other devils, hence why they're working with Denji and his whole circumstances, or Power being the fiend that she is. So it's like, yeah, we'll use whatever means we need to accomplish our goals. Which begs the question, like, the way he talked about it, it's not like he's a special case. It seems like other devil hunters have done the same thing. Question is, how many devil hunters have it? Like, is it something a lot of devil hunters do? I guess I was about to say, like, you would think someone like him, who was all about revenge against devils, wouldn't do that. He's not going to be friendly with devils, but I think it's still the thing of, if I have the opportunity, I'll use whatever power I can. I have to dirty myself by working with the devil. I don't give a shit. As long as I get my revenge, as long as I'm able to kill devils, then it's all fine. I'll do whatever dastardly thing I have to do. Which, you make the argument him and Denji would get along, because it's like, right, we'll do whatever it takes. Like, Denji's willing to, like, kick you in the balls repeatedly in episode 2, you know, so... But made sure everyone was taken care of, that Power got some assistance, made sure that Denji did as well, and also that Miaoi got sent to the veterinarian to get checked out. So either way, Denji seems to be okay, but Aki, says like, right, we investigated things, and it's like, Power tried to kill you, didn't she? And Denji's like, I don't know. Is that how things went? And it's like, yeah, here you are trying to be friends with devil. Here you are trying to protect a devil. Again, like, why are you going so above and beyond? Because for him, it's like, at the end of the day, he's like, Power's not too bad, because I think, once again, he sees her relationship with Miaoi as like the same situation as his with Pochita. So, and even Makima comments on it later that Aki has started to change a little, and it's like, oh, is that Denji's influence? And he was like, no, I'm still the same. But it's like, he's probably a little more of a softie in this regard, because he heard from some of the civilians that Denji saved the day. Except for that last dude. It's like, he did quote, like, yeah, that guy, like, said he didn't give a shit about protecting me. It's like, well, yeah, but I mean, he still caught the car. He could have easily sliced it in half. So it's like, I mean, he wasn't going out of his way to rescue, but he also wasn't going out of his way to kill you. So that's kind of a little knock against Denji, but whatever. He protected other people, so that's all that matters. So it's like, all right, you've kind of proven yourself in a lot of ways to Aki, that he's not going to fully accept you, but he's taken steps towards acknowledging you to some extent. But yeah, he goes to report things to Makima after, like, freeing Power, because she's like, see, he told you the same story as I did. Like, I told you I had nothing to do with it. And the other member of like the squad, it's like, oh, like, should we really let her kind of go? But it's like, yeah, she is a devil and all that. Oh no, she's a fiend and all that, so she could cause problems. It's like, if anything happens, it will be on your head, Aki. And he's like, it's fine. We'll use whatever tools we need, but we're not here to make friends with devils. But yeah, he goes and explains everything to Makima, and Makima's like, all right, cool. After getting an explanation about everything, and even because he made Aki made Denji promise, like, okay, going forward, I will kind of ignore a lot of this stuff, but you have to, like, one circumstance, and that one condition is you have to follow my orders, and me following my orders is the best way to protect that lifestyle of yours. Because he says, like, right, you might think I might not have a goal you deem as serious as yours, but even if my goal isn't serious, I'm as serious about it as anyone else is about their goals, so you can trust me on that. So, but yeah, it's like, apparently 2 episodes in a row of them breaking rules, going after a civilian hunter's hunt. It's kind of a no-no, but also they went outside of what is essentially their jurisdiction. I don't know if it's specifically because Public Safety has a very specific jurisdiction, or was it specifically that Power and Denji, because of their circumstances, have a limit in where they're allowed to go. Because it wasn't just about Power, it was about Denji being a little too off the leash, going whatever. But like, Makima gives him a lot of leeway because she sees the potential there. And I don't know what her end goal is. We don't know much about her. She's just popping in here and there. She seems the one that kind of sees like the bigger picture of like, yeah, this could work out in the end. And I don't know, there's something devious about her that we just haven't really seen yet. Once again, I draw the parallels between her and Denji's relationship as the same as like I said, I believe it's Sylvia. Like I said, it's been a hot minute, so I could be wrong, but like Sylvia and Travis from No More Heroes. But either way, the continued roommate situation between Aki and Denji gets more complicated because now Power has been brought over as a roommate, and it's like, right, it'll be easier to keep her on the leash if she's near you. I mean, you're able to rein Denji in, and and makes it a little easier. They're part of the squad and team anyway, so you'll be she's like, oh, I chose to do this because you're the only person I can trust to do this. Plus, Power promised to be on her best behavior, but she's rebelling against everything human. She doesn't want vegetables in her curry. She like poops, and she flushes the toilet after like pooping a couple times. She won't flush it after every poop. Plus, she's like, I would bathe like when I feel like bathing. So it's not even an everyday thing or even every other day thing. So they have to deal with that all. But at the end of the day, she is willing to hold up her end of the bargain. She even says like, yo, I wasn't going to, but then you now get 3 free boob squeeze. When she held up the 3, I was like, is he going to get like 3 seconds or 3 minutes or what? It's like, you have 3 squeezes, and he's just and she's like squeezing her boobs and like cupping them, and she's like, oh, aren't you ready? Don't you want to? And he's just like, oh my God, she's an angel. So hopefully nothing interrupts his attempts this time, and he's probably going to try and savor them. I could see someone that like Denji being such a degenerate that he's like, I'm gonna make these sparing. I'm going to get 1 grab now, and I'm going to save my other 2 for later. I don't know. Maybe he's going to burn all 3 at once. I have no idea. Because now you have to get into the stipulation of, does it count like, oh, if I squeeze a boob and I stay, and my hand never releases, that still counts as 1 squeeze. So I can enjoy that squeeze as much as I want to before using my other 2. I feel like Denji's enough of a, like I said, degenerate enough that he would probably really kind of focus on like those stipulations and loopholes. Once again, I'm a degenerate enough to think about that. So, once again, I'm not really in a position to be casting stones, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what the next episode takes us as because it does seem like in the intro, this trio of Aki, Power, and Denji, I mean, they're all on the same team, but it's like, well, you're also roommates now, too, so. The intro, like, I've been watching so much anime lately, I'm like, is stuff bleeding together in my head? Because I'm like, it was a different ending last episode, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was. But like I said, maybe I'm just like conflating it with something else, and I'm feeling stupid because I'm pretty sure it wasn't this ending last episode. I was like, does this show like have like multiple endings? Like, is it going to have a different ending every episode? Jesus Christ, if that's the case. that's wild. But either way, I'm excited to see where the next episode takes us. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. To the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.